Chelsea Football Club, your golden boy Kendry Paez looks set to be going on loan to Strasbourg, and I'm going to explain to you why. Off the pitch stuff, bad performances and overall hype is finally dying down. Is that the reason? Josh Achimpong looks set to be going to Real Madrid, or at least they're going to be putting a bid in. I don't believe this story one bit, and I'm going to explain to you why. However, we need to be very, very careful with him. Furthermore, Nike don't seem to be happy with Chelsea's shirt sales. They've got their reason, and it's based on a region around here not being present. I'm going to tell you why I think this isn't working. And finally, Thomas Tuchel gets the England job, and the meltdowns have been comical, hysterical, and I'm going to tell you why everybody that's angry about this is deluded. Absolutely deluded. But before we get started, the first thing you can do is hit that like button, because it's the best way to support the channel, especially if you watch on a regular basis. You've got no excuse, so do it now. You will forget. Honestly, it helps marvelously. And secondly, subscribe to the channel. I give you good content on almost everyday basis. 6 days a week, man is here telling you the latest thing you need to know about Chelsea or football related topics that I find interesting. So subscribe, let's get started, let's get into the stories. Kendry Paez is a golden boy, right? There is no two ways about it. He's 17 years old, starting for Ecuador, 15 appearances, 2 goals, consistently starting for them, consistently playing regular minutes, went to the Copa America. Chelsea signed him for 15 million. He's worth around about 30 already. If they put him on the market tomorrow, that's what he'll be worth. The initial plan that we've been told is him and Estevao will both be coming in next season, into pre-season, and slowly being integrated into the team. There will be no loans. However, reports now are coming out in Spain, as well as Ecuador in his homeland, saying that this gentleman will be going on loan to Strasbourg next year. And a lot of people are saying, why on earth is he going on loan to Strasbourg? Well, number one, his performances this year have not matched or been as progressive as they were last year. Last year, his numbers were comical. However, this year, he's got 32 appearances, 7 goals, 5 assists. For me, these are tremendous numbers for a 17-year-old. However, considering he's playing in Ecuador and the jump from the Ecuadorian League to the Premier League is huge, would he be better best placed actually getting some regular minutes in France rather than coming to the Premier League and just playing a bit part role here and there? That is a question that I think Chelsea most probably are considering. And I think the biggest one, his off-the-pitch antics, being spotted in a couple of nightclubs allegedly, is not going down well. He was pictured with the national team when that occurred, and also a couple of weeks ago, more pictures came out where he's in a nightclub when he was with his club team. All of this, apparently the player's been reminded the responsibilities of joining a club like Chelsea. He's a young kid, he's making his mistakes. You need to remember one thing, right? All of a sudden, this kid has got the whole world or the whole neighborhood around him calling him the man. He was just a nobody kid that played football to all of a sudden being wealthy beyond compare. It is normal and expected that he's going to make some mistakes along the way. Hopefully he's got family, friends that are around him, put his arms around him and just say, you know what, broski, you need to do this better, you need to do that better. That's the best way, I think, to rein him in. There's going to be people around him that want to take advantage. Would a loan be the worst thing though? I don't think so. There's this assumption that he is set to come in and straight away like play a pivotal role. I don't think you need to look at him and Estevao in the same ways. What Estevao's doing is Neymar-esque. He's doing it in a better league, and more importantly, his numbers are stupidly good. Kendry Paez's development doesn't have to be on the same trajectory as Estevao. In my opinion, he needs to go the Andre Santos route. He needs to go on loan to Strasbourg, break into their team, become a pivotal player, put up stupid numbers like Santos is doing in terms of tackles, wins, and he could literally be the replacement in that team for Santos next year. And then transition across to the Premier League in a year's or 2 years' time. That would be my advice. I don't know what Chelsea are going to do. Maybe they want to keep him indoors. But the problem is think about this way, right? Carney Chukwuemeka can't get into the squad. Do you think Kendry Paez is better than Carney Chukwuemeka right now? And then ask yourself the question, is he better than Andres Santos next year coming back and Joao Felix? Because they're the players that he's going to have to take out the squad. Because he's either going to play in the Enzo Fernandez position or he's going to play in the Cole Palmer position. And he has to be the bench warmer there. And I don't think at this moment in time, him just sitting and not playing is good for his development. So I would recommend he goes to Strasbourg. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I know this is going to be controversial. The next story comes from the Independent and Miguel Delaney, where he states that Real Madrid now, because of their new injuries at right back, are looking at Josh Achimpong. So Real Madrid haven't signed a player in January in ages, right? And Josh Achimpong is a 17-year-old centre-back that can play right back, very comfortable on the ball, very, very quick, intelligent, just smooth operator overall as a footballer, right? For a centre-half, the stuff he can do is absolutely mad. The reality is, we've got Liverpool, Newcastle and Spurs all looking at this player at this moment in time. But Real Madrid, according to Miguel Delaney, are actively trying to get this player's service. I don't believe this story. And the reason I say this is because Miguel's the only one that's coming out with a story. This has been happening for nearly 6 months. Normally, when stories like this have smoke, a fire is somewhere, and you find out where the fire is coming from, right? Because other people start to report this. He's the only one that's been reporting this consistently, and for me, I think something's fishy about it. However, Chelsea do need to be careful with this player because he is too talented not to be getting more minutes. At the moment, what has happened? He's had 2 cameos, right? He's had one against Barrow and one in, the Conference League. I think this needs to continue. He needs to feel a part of the team. He needs to understand that there's a development and there's a nice trajectory. This year he gets 10 to 15 appearances. Next year he's coming close to being on the bench regularly. And then he's slowly integrated into the team. Or there's a nice loan where he goes away, comes back and is fed through to the team. This for me needs to be handled properly and accordingly, because this is a top tier talent. This is not a talent that where it's a Charlie Webster or a Harvey Vale where, you know what, if they leave, they leave. This is Reece James level of talent. We need to be very considerate. We need to be very explicit in the pathway that we display to this kid. And he needs to feel wanted and loved from the outset. So what has happened with kit manufacturers these days? Well, Nike have been with Chelsea for a while. Chelsea have got a very good deal, and I think the deal occurred when Marine was even in charge. And Nike have been paying Chelsea a lot of money. However, I will be honest and say the kits haven't been great. A lot of people adore the kits. A lot of people think the kits are creative. There've been nice aspects to it. I'm one of those. I prefer the Adidas kits personally, but I do think Nike make banging trainers, and I always prefer Nike trainers to Adidas trainers. So it's just, however, we're talking about football kits here. Nike, there's a report coming out that Nike are not happy with the number of sales that Chelsea kits have been doing in recent times. For me, straight out the back, it makes sense. We haven't been winning. Kids don't want to wear our kits, our jerseys as much because we're not winning trophies. When you win trophies, more kids want to support you, more parents end up going and buying their kids jerseys. It just makes sense, right? However, Nike have got doubts that they think the lack of sponsorship is impacting the number of sales of the kit. For me, this is nonsense. I don't remember me when I was younger telling my parents, oh my God, I really want to buy this kit because the Samsung looks sick. No, I genuinely don't believe that. And I don't think any kids recently have said, oh my God, I want the 3 phone company on the top, so I'm definitely going to want it. Or I want the Trivago on the training kit. I don't believe it. I think this is Nike's way of saying this is Chelsea's fault rather than ours. But in reality, I think the biggest issue here is the price point. Look, I understand we live in a world where football is expensive. These clubs are getting paid huge amounts of money for marketing. And Nike want to sell the clothes and they want to make sure they make their money back. However, I went and did a quick research, and on the official Nike website, £85 for the replica, no number in the back, no Premier League logo. £125 for just the kit. That's the original replica of what the players wear. I think that's wild, man. £125 for a t-shirt that is meant to be utilized not in fashion, because I don't get these people that wear a football jersey with jeans and go out for dinner. I don't think so, man. For me, it's a sport jersey. You're meant to work out in it. Do you know what I mean? You're meant to wear it around the house. It's meant to be comfortable. You're meant to play football in it. It's not a fashion piece. But they're trying to charge a t-shirt that a designer t-shirt would cost. Not the high-end ones, but lower. And for me, that's just not right. Like, on every level, I just feel like it's exploitation of price. I don't feel like this t-shirt would cost more than 10 bucks to make. 10 pounds, 12 pounds, 13 at most. But yet they're charging 125 pounds. Like, that for me is ludicrous to pay. I haven't bought a Chelsea kit since my Shevchenko blue one. You know, that with the Adidas in the middle. I haven't had one since. Because I just can't justify paying that kind of money for a kit. For me, it really frustrates me how priced they are. Because if the t-shirts were around about 50, 60 pounds, 70 at a push, I'd say, you know what, why not? But when I start seeing 125 or 85 pounds, I just think you're taking a mick out of me, and I find it very difficult to justify. Let me know in the comments below, how often do you guys actually buy the kits? Because for me, I just feel like they're ridiculously overpriced. The final thing we need to talk about is we've got Super Tommy Tuchel. He knows exactly what we need. We got Cole at the back, Palmer in attack. England's gonna win the World Cup, right? It only makes sense. However, a lot of people aren't very happy. So what has happened? Thomas Tuchel has got the job to be the England manager, and people are absolutely doing my head in. So there are two things that I kept hearing. Number one, he's German, he's not English. Why is that a problem? Like, genuinely, why is that a problem? In 2024, where, for example, I'm a Georgian that lives in London with a British passport, if I kicked ball, I could play for England, right? However, does that mean because I have a British passport, I can play for England, but Thomas Tuchel can't coach England because he doesn't have a British passport? For me, that's wild, because he's lived in England, he's embraced the culture. He even openly says he loves living in London. And he'll live here for a long period of time, meaning one day he's going to get the passport. For me, it's so stupid. Like, the fact that I would be allowed to play for England, but people have a problem with Thomas Tuchel being the manager, stupid. Secondly, I can't believe people have the audacity to say there are qualified enough English managers that should have got an opportunity. Let's talk about it. First names I heard from Sky Sports pundits was Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe can't compete with Thomas Tuchel. I'm sorry. Eddie Howe is not to the standard of a Thomas Tuchel. Eddie Howe is doing a good job at Newcastle. I think it could be better. I really do. I think last year they underachieved drastically, considering how good the squad was. And for me, it's infuriating when I hear that. Then you get the Harry Redknapps that come out. You know, Lampard, Gerrard should be getting. What have Lampard or Gerrard done in managerial football to get them qualified to even be considered on par with Thomas Tuchel, let alone better than? I'm sorry, Lampard is a Chelsea legend as a footballer, but Lampard as a manager is below average. He's not a good manager, and he's never been a good manager. Like this whole argument that, oh, he done a good job at Derby. A good job at Derby is what Scott Parker done, what Vincent Kompany done, what Russell Martin has done, what's it called, with Southampton. They got their teams winning the league, playing a special style of football where it's attractive, that is not normal for that league. And then they came up and they've got exploited because they continued to try playing that football. And guess what happened? The quality showed. However, Lampard finished 6th, got the Chelsea job because he's a Chelsea legend, had a very good first year in my opinion. We're going to give credit where it's due. But then when he got his players through the door, what happened? The patterns of play that was built under Sarri, that transferred across, and that he integrated the youth on, because he'll get the praise for integrating the youth, 100%. But when he slowly started phasing the youth out for Werner's, for Ziyech's, for Thiago Silva's, for Ben Chilwell's, people don't like to remember that. What happened? He ended up getting sacked because he weren't up to par. Tuchel came in, won us the Champions League. We went on for a period of dominance where we were winning cups, getting to finals regularly. We were competitive. We had the best points return since Antonio Conte. Then Frank came back, and honestly, it was the worst time I've ever had as a Chelsea fan. It was absolutely diabolical when he came back during that second period. So please cut me with this whole nonsense that we need to give Frank Lampard an opportunity. What Why does he not get an opportunity? Why does he deserve an opportunity? What English manager is better than Thomas Tuchel? Don't piss me off, because the reality is Thomas Tuchel is a top 5 manager arguably in the world. And now that we have him through the door, I am so much more confident in England's opportunity at going to a World Cup and genuinely not being outclassed in a tactical battle. So it is what it is. Whether you like my opinion or not, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, let me know your thoughts, and here's some more Kavkas View videos for you. I know you're gonna go check it out. Keep looking at it. Peace out, I'm out. Have a lovely day.